This is game-changing for cybersecurity. It's simple yet effective, and everyone needs more vendors to support this. You can easily protect Microsoft Entra ID accounts in just a few clicks, but there's a few things you need to be aware of, which I'll get to later. You might be thinking, is this another video on MFA and geofencing? No, this is much bigger. Let me explain. When the user account is created, by default, the email is derived from the UPN. Your UPN is like the golden key to your Microsoft account. By transforming your UPN into something different to the email address, malicious actors no longer have the primary crucial information to target your users. Now, this alone is not a silver bullet. Nothing is. I still recommend keeping MFA and geofencing as added security layers. You might be thinking, wow, this sounds amazing, and it is. But wait, there's a few downsides, and this is where we need the support of the third-party vendors. While many sites support Microsoft SSO, not all of them allow UPNs to be different from the user's email address. Changing the UPN can block access to the third-party vendor service, but this can easily be reversed. To ensure this is taken to the next level, this is a call for third-party vendors to test and implement this into their security model. If your favorite vendor hasn't applied this yet, send them our way. Direct them to this video and urge them to adopt this security feature. For businesses, I recommend testing this in your environment before implementing it. Test it with all your web applications that utilize Microsoft SSO. Once you've identified all the apps that support it, you can selectively roll it out to the users who aren't impacted by the changing UPN. As more vendors support it, you can eventually roll it out to the remaining users. So you might be asking, what happens if the user gets phished and leaks the UPN? Great question. Because the UPN and the credentials is held within the Microsoft platform, you can change your UPN as many times as you want. Can you start to see how powerful this is? Your users are like a moving target now. This makes it much more difficult for malicious actors to locate them. This reminds me of this one security incident. I remember the day was busy and there were security tickets to review and to triage. My colleague brought to my attention that a user was being brute force attacked. We raised it with their management and they approved to update the UPN. The update went pretty smooth and we thought we would be safe now. It wasn't until that night that the user clicked on an email that took them to a site that collected credentials. They entered their new credentials and they received the MFA request. To their surprise, the request came from outside of Australia, which is where they're from, and they realized that this was a malicious site. The user reported the incident to us that night, and within minutes, we were quickly able to sign out all sessions and reset the password. We monitored the account the next few days, and sure enough, a new wave of brute force attacks targeted the new UPN. We changed the UPN again and it's been quiet ever since. This is an example of why it is important to have different security layers all working together to provide a more robust security system. If something is able to get through one layer, another is able to stop further progress through the cyber kill chain. They call these layers of security the Swiss cheese method. The more layers of security, the better the odds you have at mitigating the cyber attacks. So you might be asking now, how do you change the UPN? Let's go through a demo I'll put together. This is a demonstration of changing the UPN. You'll also see the user sign in before and after changing the UPN. So we've created a test account and we'll just sign in with that. So this is what a normal user would go through. So that's the process of the user signing in. They use the email address as the username when they sign in, and then they put in the password and they do the MFA authentication. So let's move on to the Azure side where all the magic happens. So sign into portal.azure.com, and then once you're in, look for Microsoft Entra ID. If you don't see it, just go into the search box up above and just search for Microsoft Entra ID. And you'll see it just like that. When you're in, just click on the users under manage on the left hand side, find the user you want to change the UPN for, and then click on edit properties up above. Once you're in, just look for the user principal and change that. So we'll change that to something different. So we'll use Big Boss as an example. And then once you change the UPN, it also changes the primary email address. So we need to fix that. So you can do that by going to the Exchange Admin Center. The address is admin.exchange.microsoft.com. Once you're in, look for the account and just refresh it. You'll see it's still got the old email address. We need to wait for it until it changes the UPN. So we can see it's changed the UPN, or the primary email address, to the UPN. So let's click on the account. Now you'll need to click on manage email address. You probably can't see it because my head's in the way. So let's get rid of that. And you'll see it now. So that's where it is. Click on it. And you need to look for the original primary email address. So this is it. So we click on edit and we'll just set it as a primary email address again. And click on OK and then click on save. Now, changing the UPN has a number of benefits. One is you no longer get the multiple failed alerts when malicious actors are trying to brute force the accounts. They can no longer use the primary email address as the user sign-in. There are some other minor things you got to watch out for. By changing the UPN, you also change the URL for the OneDrive. So any shared files or folders, you'll need to update them or you can reshare them again. Another thing is any recent files opened from OneDrive will be broken because of the change in the URL, but they will basically repopulate after you use it. Another thing is if you use OneNote, because it actually saves in OneDrive, that link is going to be broken. So just basically open your OneNote and then link it back to your OneDrive and you should be fine. So let's go back to the user sign-in now after the UPN has changed. So we'll go back to office.com, we'll sign in, we'll use the email address, and as you can see, it no longer recognizes that as a username. So let's put in the new UPN. And as you can see now, it now recognizes the account, so it asks for the password. Put the password in, we'll do the MFA, and you can see it's now signed in. So after that demonstration, you can see it's pretty simple and easy. Now this video has mainly been about the Microsoft platform, but if you think about it, we're encouraging change within the cybersecurity industry. This is a good thing for companies, users, and blue team defenders. There's no reason why this can't be applied to other platforms like Google, Apple, LinkedIn, and Facebook, just to name a few. If you want to be a part of this change, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and let's make a difference together. If this has helped you, let us know how in the comments below. Haro, I'm Upsec Aaron, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Just a quick message before I go. I'm looking for a few partners to sponsor future videos for this channel. If you think your company is a great fit, reach out and say Haro. If you've reached the end of the video, message Haro in the comments to let us know that you've come this far. Love you all, take care, and bye-bye. Haro, can you ping me? I'm in cyberspace, dreaming of who we used to be. I roll from the other side. See ya.